You are now tuned in to the motherfucking Ambition Hour podcast on Worth the Wait Radio. You ready?
It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.
Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves, and this is episode 155.
It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.
We are here.
Hello, and welcome, beautiful people, yet again to another episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. I am your host, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves, and I am joined by my co-host, Hav 600, in the building. Make some noise for Hav, everybody.
You already another week. We coming.
Thank
we are
you.
here.
We are here. We are blessed. Can they see who we got on or not yet?
Right when he says a word, they gonna see it.
Oh, okay, so that's how it works. Okay, so if you're watching us on YouTube, I'm letting you know that I'm gonna be introducing you guys to somebody. If you're listening to us on Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever that you're listening with, thank you so much. Make sure to share, subscribe, and tell somebody about the Ambition Hour podcast. And without further ado, I want to introduce Steven, our special guest of the evening. Coming in from via Zoom.
It is Zoom.
Zoom. Hey, Steven, how are you doing?
I'm good, hanging in there. Relaxing, cooling, chilling, just being as laid back as possible, stress-free.
So, Steven recently actually just dropped his book called Across the Bridge on Monday. So, the episode today is dropping on Saturday, but he dropped his book on Monday. So, you're being a little shy over there, Steven. You're being a little modest.
He said he was laid back and as unbothered as possible. Claudia, let my boy do him.
So how does it feel? The book is out. People have been giving you feedback. Tell me, how has it been?
In the beginning, a little overwhelming. My first time writing, a novel. I'm a first-time author. I'm the only author that I know personally, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's a cool accomplishment for sure. A lot of positive feedback. A lot of my friends, family, people I don't know, been very supportive. So that's just given me like positive ammunition to like, if this goes good, maybe write something else or continue, doing screenplays. That I did the screenplay before I wrote the book, and that kind of converted into the book. So.
Okay, well, that's good to know. We're going to get into that a little bit later. I'm going to start the episode how I normally start the episode, and that is with saying what we are grateful for. So, Steven, this is you're the first time, you're the guest here.
And first time here.
Yeah, and the first time here. So, I would like to ask you, what is it that you are grateful for this week?
Freedom.
Okay.
Freedom. When you're when freedom is taken away from you, you don't realize what freedom truly is, and you look at it like, wow, somebody could take that from me, and I can't do anything about it. That it's not a safe space to be in. It's weird, that control. So definitely my freedom.
Okay. I love that. Freedom is very important. A lot of us take that for granted as well. Yeah. What about you, Hav? What are you grateful for? Thank you for sharing, Steven.
I would say that like being humble enough to learn new things, right? I know I don't know it all. I still am in this life, learning, growing, just being me. I know I'm me, and I'm on my dick enough, like to not like listen to anybody, but I'm still open to hear everyone's point of view. You know what I mean? Like, I just know I don't know it all. You feel me? And I'm not gonna, kind of snag that opportunity, right? Steven could tell me some shit and make me look at the world differently. The same way how the guy on the corner who might be a little crazy, he could tell me some slick shit and I would look at life different too. Like from everywhere. So I just like it that at least. I like that I keep that with me, though. I'm going to hold that. I'm going to honor that. I'm going to show pride in that I do have that ability to be open to learn new shit. What about you?
You should never judge someone for trying to teach you anything, because you don't know like you said, it could be somebody on the corner. It could be a college professor. It could be a family member. Any little jewel helps. And the point of you being is getting all those jewels in a bag and,
And securing a bag.
Hello.
Like literally. Well, this week I am grateful for authenticity. So
Damn. Hey, we low-key killed this week.
this week the gratitude is on 100 this week. I'm extremely grateful for authenticity because that's something that has allowed me to get as far as I have gotten when it comes to the podcast, when it comes to my brand, when it comes to my name, and all of these things. So me being able to be myself at all times, whether it be on social media, whether it be, I'm doing the podcast, or when you meet me in person, I'm going to be me every single time that you see me. So authenticity and just knowing who I am, you know what I mean? Like keep seeing like in church, like the theme of like, who are you? Who are you? And it's just like, who am I? And it's just like, I just want to find the most authentic, best version of myself. So authenticity is definitely something that I'm very grateful for this week. So guys, thank you for sharing your gratitude this week.
And comment below.
Yes,
your gratitude
what you
of the
guys
week.
are grateful for.
Let us know.
Yay. Okay, Steven. So let's talk. So I've been reading Across the Bridge. And it's so cool because, okay, so I have to tell you guys. So Jax the Messenger, who is the one who brought Nikki Bryant onto the podcast.
Shout out to you.
He is the one who has also brought Steven.
This fool booking people.
Yeah, he's booking people for us. Like, I might have to cut Jax a check eventually. Like, it's going to get to that point.
Buddy, you ready? Send the invoice. By the way.
Next two of us.
So it was pretty dope because I've been actually wanting to get Jax on the podcast, and before he gets on, he's brought me 2 people. So shout out to Jax for that, because and the Messengers brand and publishing and all that stuff, you guys, I'm getting him this month. So yeah, so he tells me about this book. He ends up sending it to me and I end up reading it. So with Nikki, I didn't get the book until after the interview. So I didn't get to read it. I didn't get to see what it was. This time, I'm actually getting to speak to the author that is writing the book that I'm reading. So that's pretty dope. So, okay. So you mentioned how it's like, this is the first time that you've written a book. It's
Yes.
you're the first time author. This is also this is also the first time that you also said that you don't know anybody else who has also written a book, right?
No.
So how does that feel? What inspired you to just go ahead and be like, I'm gonna write my story, or I'm gonna write a story?
With the trials and tribulations that I went through, we'll get into that. I just experienced so much as a person, and the people around me experienced so much, and I kind of took all those stories and kind of just jammed it into my thoughts. Again, with my situation, people that knew of it, they would be like, yo, man, that sounds crazy. It sounds like a movie. It sounds like a book. You should write a book. You should write a book. So it kept being instilled. And I'm like, like, I'm not no English major. I probably don't know how to spell certain things, but
Being humble.
little by little, I just started like getting a few notepads and writing ideas down, writing storylines down, building characters, making scenes of things that actually happened. So it was the pro behind it was that these stories are, they're fairly true. So it's just the hard part was putting it on paper. The hard part was narrating it. The hard part was, how can I make what I feel in my head is interesting, actually writing it down and making it interesting. So it was definitely a process that took a little under like 4 years.
Oh, really? It took it took 4 years.
Yeah, it took 4 years to actually get it to this, from it being on loose leaf and pencil to actually making, it coming to this present day of it being printed. So
wow. So this is a 4-year journey that you have been on with your book.
Yeah,
and it's finally, it's a 4-year journey that you've been on with the book as far as writing it, and it's officially out. You have a physical copy in your hand. How does that feel?
Surreal, to be honest, because my name's plastered on the front. Maybe that
show them the cover. Yeah, show them the cover one time.
Right there.
Egotistical of me, but definitely.
Nah, pop your shit. But let them fucking know. I'm gonna say it for you. Fuck it.
It's a proud moment for sure. Definitely a proud moment. Family and friends are very proud. Some people are very surprised. Like they wouldn't have expected that to come out of the situation that I ended up going through.
Right. So creatively, like when you're in that bag of pulling from real life scenarios, what is off limits and what isn't, I guess. What?
There's definitely a legality issue. I got to make sure that certain people, certain scenarios, uh, certain topics are spoken about, but to the point to where I don't offend anyone,
Mm-hmm.
or like I don't shed light on something that's hasn't been spoken about. A lot of the stuff that I'm speaking about are tall tales that, unless you're in the predicament that I was in, you would know are actually truthful. So it's called Across the Bridge, a Rikers Island story. It's basically based inside and outside of Rikers. Everybody and their mother has probably heard of Rikers Island, whether you're a New York resident or not. One of the
Facts.
most notorious jail complexes in the U.S. It's one of the biggest, actually, population wise. So it's been a staple in, I guess, our urban culture, whether it's rap or whether it's crime or drama, TV, Law and Order, SVU, whatever it is. Like it's a staple on its own. But not too many people get to experience that unless they've been incarcerated, they work there, or they're visiting someone. So I give people that perspective.
Something that I liked about the acknowledgments is that you acknowledged anyone incarcerated or facing trial just starting in the middle or at the end of their bid. I really like that in the acknowledgments because I feel like this is something that can inspire someone who's in the inside or
That's kind of the
even
point.
yeah, like that especially for me reading it and and having understood some of the characters and what some of them are going through and stuff like that. I believe that this is such a great story, and it's not just a great story, it's also like how can I put this? It's just like a almost like if he can do it, I can do it. You know what I
That, that
mean? Like
that's
if he
literally the point.
yeah, if he's able to write a book and not just them, I feel like everybody. Like there's I'm sure that there's some okay, honestly, I've been inspired to write a book. Probably people have been telling me just like how they've been telling you to write one, they've been telling me the same thing. And so for you to say that it took you 4 years and for you to have like I'm seeing what you've put into this book as well. I guess I want to know like what was the biggest obstacle in writing this book?
Um, Having it make sense, to be honest, because it might make sense to me.
Right.
It might make sense to me. I might think this is the coolest shit ever, but
Yeah.
then somebody might read it and be like, "What are you? What? I don't get where you're going with this."
Yeah.
So I think that was the biggest obstacle, to actually make it make sense. And that sounds like it's easy, and it's probably the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, that's something that you did ask me when we first spoke or a little after. You were like, "Does it make sense? I know there's a lot going on." and I believe
Yeah,
it
yeah, and I
does.
did that. I did that purposely. I did it purposely because that's exactly what the environment is. There's so much going on. Like somebody
How
can get cut in this housing area, and then the other
Mhm.
housing area, the inmates are setting their mattresses on fire, and
Yeah.
then the other housing area, officer is going against 5 inmates and trying to spray them with pepper spray, and there's a riot here, and there's so much going on, and that was kind of the point. I wanted to show the realism of like there's never a dull moment ever. Like it's always something.
And so we're gonna talk about some of the stories that I've read, like in the book. Not, I'm not gonna give too much about it, but I want to know more of your story. What is your background? Is because to my understanding, you worked at Rikers Island, correct?
I did for
So,
5 years, a little under
is-
5 years.
so is this a book based or not based, but somewhat of your background as working there?
Pretty much. It leads into my situation. I made myself a character in the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning. I'm pretty sure you kind of get a gist of who I was. Um, I did that because I didn't, I'm part of the main characters that are there, but I also wanted to show the people around me what they're going through. Aside from, it's not just me going through something. Everybody
Yeah.
has a way of doing certain things, even though we all have the same job title.
Yeah.
But I kind of put their personal life into it too, because that plays a part when they go to work. If they're
Mm-hmm.
fighting with their spouse and they have a verbal argument right before a 16-hour shift, they're not going to go to work happy.
Yeah.
They might take it out on the inmates. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and the inmates might not be doing anything wrong or you know, breaking the rules or whatever, but she's pissed off or he's pissed off, and it's like that stuff is the domino effect. So
Yeah.
a lot of the outside stuff that officers go through plays a part when they get to work. So I kind of wanted to involve and include all of that. But yes, most of the book it's based around, I guess, my point of view, but also people around me, their
Yeah.
point of view. So everybody intertwines with each other, and certain characters meet at certain points, and it's like everybody's in this one world trying to like do their best.
Okay.
So would you say, like, is it an adaptation? Can we say that, like, adaptation of your life, or really more perspective on your experience?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, I ain't trying. I ain't the feds, bro. I ain't the feds. My bad.
Yeah, a little bit of both for sure.
All right, cool. So, like, because as a writer though, too, like, not writing books or, you know, writing a songwriter and songwriting, there are experiences that you pull through, right? I might be talking about a girl, but I'm gonna name her Rebecca. But I never, you know, I probably never had a girlfriend named Rebecca. But shout out to Rebecca, girl.
That's
My bad,
exactly what I did, and I did that again for legality purposes because I don't want anybody thinking, "Hey, how did you talk about me? You didn't get the right to talk about me," you know. So, again, there's that thin line where it's like I would have to add and subtract certain things. Like, John might be 300 pounds, but in the book,
he's like,
his name is Anthony, and he's 160 pounds. You know, like
and then kind of pull from different characters to make this character right. That's man, that's awesome. What were you reading when you were younger?
This is gonna sound very ignorant.
Hey, we here with the ignorant shit, so don't worry, man. Don't say nothing smart for me.
If I wasn't forced to by, you know, academically, I wasn't. I really wasn't. Right. So that's kind of odd that, you know, I'm here. I'm an author. I didn't become a fan of books until I was incarcerated, and I probably read over 700 books during my incarceration.
Wow.
So I guess the years of my childhood that I didn't read,
you like made up for it
in adulthood while I was incarcerated.
So
wow.
All right. So, but what about other forms of media? Like, were there movies that you gravitated towards, or
many movies? I loved movies. That's why I wanted to get into screenplay writing so bad before becoming an author, because I just love like the behind the scenes work, like, you know, script writing or just like you know, detailing scenery and stuff like that, you know. So I think that's kind of that ambition to want to do that made the book even better.
He dropped the word, y'all.
He dropped the word. I'm like super inspired right now. This is awesome. I'm so grateful to have you here. I wanted to speak on one of the characters that I'm growing very fond of, and it's Julissa. Huh?
She's a character for sure.
Yes. I really like, because she's somebody that I've been I see that continues to be a person, and she just seems like, I don't know, she's that bitch or something like that. So
she is. By any means too, and you'll start to see that for the people that do pick up the book, they'll start to realize like, wow, this chick is everywhere and everything, but it's like it's not always positive, but you know, that's her personality.
Yeah, that's a character that I'm really excited to like see it unfold more, because right now I'm at the time where she's like resting. She's like on a rest that she has to be on. That's what I'm on. I'm not spoiling the book.
Spoilers here. Go pre-order.
You better go get the book.
I mean, I'll pre-order. Order that shit now.
Yeah, you better go get the book. Because I even when I was promoting it on Twitter, and this girl that I follow, she's like, I love stories like this. I'm gonna buy the book. So I'm really enjoying it. Another thing that I noticed is Miss Perry.
Mm-hmm.
She is like the therapist, right?
Yeah.
Is that what she is?
Yeah, mental health clinician.
Yeah, and something that I really liked, it I never knew this. I didn't know that they even had that in jails. Like, I didn't know that they had someone who was in charge of like mental health. So that was something that, like, as soon as I saw that character come into play and see what her like job and position was in the jail, I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I know that you shared like a stat on like how many men, I guess, get
Yeah, on
therapy?
average, it's about clinically, like on paper, people that have been diagnosed on paper, the population on Rikers Island is 40% they suffer from a mental health issue. On
Yeah.
paper, those are people that have been clinically, given that title. There's probably another 15%
Yeah.
that they haven't, they haven't been given that title as they have a mental health issue, whether it's anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. Um, that's very big in jail, in prison. It's something that staff that I once was, obviously, you get certain trainings on, but it's never compared to actually doing it in real life. Seeing an inmate eat his own feces, seeing an inmate take a razor, institutional razor that he uses to shave,
Mm-hmm.
to look at you dead in the face and continue slicing their wrist like it's nothing. Like
Wow.
it's a lot to endure, So I try to make it known like mental health is extremely big in prison and in
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah,
It's, it's a big issue.
I agree. I can only imagine cuz uh some of the people that go to therapy, they feel like they're in a jail of their own, of their mind. Mentally they feel like they're trapped into something. So these people that are actually incarcerated, they actually are both. They're in actual like jail in literally, and they're also in their minds, because I can just only imagine what happens when you go inside. And there, did you see like okay, so I want to mainly ask about you. How was your mental health when you were first, before you got incarcerated, and then after? Like, how did that change?
It was a subject, I guess. I was incarcerated from 2014 to 2020, basically.
Oh, some dogs
Um,
free just got out.
My bad.
well,
Welcome back.
I've been home officially for 2 years,
Okay.
2018, but I was in a work release facility, so I was in like what in other parts of the country they'll say like a halfway house.
Okay.
So I would literally go out to work for 8 hours, and I had a 10-hour window within those 8 hours. That hour was for transportation going and coming. So I was home. I was in New York City, but I wasn't free. I was still state property. So when I returned back from my occupation, I
Mm-hmm.
would have to take off my street clothes, put on my state greens, put my ID on my chest, and become an inmate for the rest of the day.
Okay.
So I was only free from that March of 2020.
Okay.
But as
Okay.
far as my mental health, it was something back then that sadly I didn't pay too much mind to. I didn't really like. It wasn't a thing for me. Like
Yeah.
mental health, like I didn't feel. Even though I suffered from anxiety, even though like there was depression here and there, I never looked at it as an issue. It was never an issue to me. Or maybe it was like an embarrassing topic to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
So I never paid no mind to it. I definitely paid mind to it when I was incarcerated because it's definitely a mental fuck from being an officer to then being an inmate. I was doing the count. Now I'm on the count.
Yeah.
So that transition alone was detrimental to my mental health for sure.
And what was it that helped you get out of that? Like that, the moment that you were just like, all right, I need to take care of my mental health.
Hope, because the person I got sentenced to 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hope because the person to my left, he has another 45 years to do, and
Mm-hmm.
the person to my right is never seeing the light of day. So having that hope that what, like I have to do, even though I was sentenced to 8 years from the state, I have to, if everything goes well, I only have to do 6.5 years out of that. So with knowing that there's light at the end of the tunnel, I'm like, all right, well, this time that I'm doing is, sadly, I had to kind of like pin it to the person to my left or the right. They're never going home.
Yeah.
Because even the guy with 45 years to my right, he's 45 right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're never going home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having that hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel, that this is just a phase in my life that I have to go through regardless. I can't go against the grain. I might as well put my mind to something, learn a new language, work out, eat better, read books, write letters, like better myself as a person, because obviously I wasn't a better person because I got into the situation.
Yeah. That's great. That's awesome because you said that it took you 4 years and you were writing this while you were in jail?
While I was in
Yeah.
jail, from jail into prison, from the literally
From
me
jail.
fighting my case, I fought my case for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and all that time obviously counts. And then into the transition of being sentenced to the 8 years and
Mm-hmm.
having to do another 4.
Okay. Wow. That's great. That listen, if you're listening and you're not inspired, you're tripping. This is great. I'm like really, really honored to have you. It's crazy because it's
Thank you.
episode
Yeah.
155 and that yeah, what a celebration to have a guest like this. So I kind of want to shift gears a little bit because we were playing some music earlier and you said that you wouldn't have played what I decided to pick to play.
Right.
I played Hotline by Pretty Ricky because I was in my, early 2000s bag. So what would you have played? Like, what is a song right now that you like, you gotta listen to, is your shit? You get in the whip, that's what you're putting on.
It don't gotta be new. It don't gotta be old. Just
Something I play every single day for some reason, whether I choose to or it just comes up to my shuffle. Little Baby, and the song is called Freestyle.
Okay.
And if you really listen to what he's saying, it's basically him coming from the mud to being who he is now. And like the people around him, like him showing the people around him, like, yo, listen, I made it. We're good. We used to share clothes. Now I'm buying everybody their own, wardrobe type of thing. Like it's that something, that nothing to something type of song. It's really cool. And the beat,
Yeah.
the way he goes on it, like is one of my favorite songs to date.
boy skating on that one.
Yeah.
Dang, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to listen to that song now.
I don't think about it.
Listen to it. I'm telling you. Maybe I'm overhyping it, but listen to it. You gotta listen.
No,
You're actually not because I know that the Lil Baby is a good artist and I know that he has good music. Now, it's not something that I listen to all the time because I'm really heavy in like R&B right now.
Okay.
Like I actually like the most recent R&B that's actually been dropping, so that's what I've been listening to the most. But I know that the Lil Baby is like an artist that, like how you said, he's not just talking about it in his songs. He's showing us that he's helping his friends like come out of the way and basically like from the mud to like, and he uplifts them and things like that. And I think that that's something that we haven't always seen gone well with rappers. Because some people take advantage, but at the end of the day, like I do admire Lil Baby for what he does and everything. I know he was like somewhere with Drake and shit, living it up. And so tell me, so you come back and basically COVID starts.
Yeah, unfortunately, but you know what it is? This is like second nature, like having to be like locked
In the crib.
being told by someone of a higher power, hey, listen, you guys have to abide by these rules and regulations.
Yeah.
Because if not, then this is gonna happen. I've been doing that for 6 years prior. So this is like, people are going crazy, and it's like that solitude, that confinement messed up a lot of people, and it's like in a intrusive way. For a few weeks, they understood what being incarcerated, even in their own home. And people have always asked me, like, what would you compare like being in a cell, in an 8x9 cell, 8 foot by 9 foot cell? What would you compare it to? And I told them, well, get a magazine, any magazine you want, whatever choice. No phone, no nothing. I'll let you bring a water bottle. Go into the bathroom and stay in the bathroom for 45 minutes. With the magazine. So it's not like you don't have anything to do, but I promise you will not read that magazine with the bathroom door closed, sitting on the toilet or sitting on, any little chair you might take. You have your shower there, you have your toilet there, you have a mirror, and you have your sink. And that's it.
You're not allowed to listen to music either?
You have music, but after a while, music doesn't do it anymore. You might only be able to have 25 tapes, and then your friend has 25 tapes, and then your other friend has 25 tapes. You guys been down for 6 years. You've heard those 75 tapes 10,000 times. It gets boring. you know.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
if people want to know what it is to feel like being in the box, being incarcerated, being in a regular cell, lock yourself in your bathroom for 45 minutes, and I'll let you bring a magazine. And I promise you, you won't read that magazine because you're only thinking about getting out. And sadly, you can only get out if someone opens the door.
I'm in my head. I'm just thinking about it, and I'm like, I wouldn't. I could. I don't know. I don't think I could.
And it's so interesting, right? About like the point he's making with the magazine, right? We
Yeah.
would not read that.
Yeah,
Like,
you'd be like, I don't want this shit. I want to get the fuck out.
that's so crazy. That's a fact, though, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
wow. It's a great perspective right there.
Yes, I agree.
I ain't gonna try it.
Listen, Steven. I'm gonna believe you.
Yeah. A lot of people do. Trust me.
Listen. Your Hope did that, so hopefully I didn't have to go through that.
Shit, Steve did that. Oh.
So how I was gonna say.
It causes PTSD, man. A lot of people come home, they don't know how to, I guess, cope with society because they've been told what to do, and now being in the free world,
Yeah.
they go outside. It's like, damn, nobody's telling me what to do. It's like it's a weird feeling.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nav.
I had a buddy who when he I didn't know him prior of him being incarcerated, but when he came home, I met him. I knew he had a bit of a problem with that. Like what you're saying, it's just kind of, and he would always come with the point of view of, man, they need to be doing more. You know what I mean? Like they need a guy, you know, like as far as the government and stuff like that. And I would listen to that perspective just for his point of view, and which is kind of true in a sense. You're kind of let here to be free. In a sense, but also you're either living good or you're not, right? Yeah. And then it's a tough transition, especially coming back home and then trying to get employment.
It is. It's gotten better.
It's gotten better, but go ahead.
It's gotten better. When Obama was in office, he made sure that they took out the checking the box on the application. Employees are not allowed to ask you if you've been formerly incarcerated, whether it's for a misdemeanor or felony. But even then, I got denied when I first came out for a moving company as a felon. And it's like, damn, I can't even move furniture because I'm a felon. But they looked at it like, well, you know, you're going into someone's dwelling, into someone's house. Yeah. We don't know what you're here for, this and that. So that was definitely like, wow, I didn't think that actually existed until I was in those shoes.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say to a point too. It's almost like a hustler going to get a day job, right? That hustler been on the block, and you know they're used to making 20 a bag, and that was 5 minutes, right? That was 5 minutes, right? Like 5 minutes of their time. All they really had to do was wait out.
For sure.
Right. So then it's that shock or that culture shock. I think that you said of wait, now I got to be here 8 hours, and I only go home with 40, 80.
Yeah.
100 at best. You know, it's kind of like, oh, wait a minute, you know, so.
And also, when you are a hustler or when you have been incarcerated, you don't really have a resume.
Right.
No. I mean, you do things in prison. There are programs, but a lot of that stuff is outdated. Technology is outdated in there. They're just recently have been given tablets out to inmates. So inmates are starting to get a gist of what, like, having a smart tablet would be, or you know, but it's not.
I done seen some inmates on TikTok.
Oh my god,
that's the thing. But these are phones with cameras on them. Trust me, I watch it too, and it's hilarious.
I'll be like, oh, these fools in jail. This ain't no play. Like,
I posted a lot of it, you know, not to encourage or like glorify it, but it's just like, yo, listen, they're human, man. They're just trying to have a laugh. They're allowed to have fun.
Yeah, know? I mean. If they're allowed to have the phone and that's not going to get them in trouble, listen, by all means, I'll watch it. Like they're usually just having a great time. And, you know, it also just shows that they are all human. At the end of the day, like we are all human, you know, and we all make mistakes. Yeah, we all make different type of mistakes. Like your mistake isn't worse or better than mine because at the end of the day, it's still a mistake. You know what I mean? Like a mistake is a mistake, whether it's big or not. And that's just something that I've been thinking about because I was listening to another old episode, and it was talking about how like in the Bible, it basically like there's kind of a type of different sins that there is. And it was like all of these that all of them were bad as fuck. Like some of them were like death and lies and infidelity and things like that. And it's just like all of those were the same thing. Like all of them were bad anyway, because it was like, okay, it doesn't matter if you did this or this, it's still a sin. You know what I mean? Like we're not, it's not going to be like, oh, no. Well, you just did that. So that's fine. No, it's like, no, you did that. That's not good. And you did that too. Okay, cool. No. So something that I definitely wanted to ask you is, what advice would you give your 17-year-old self?
Don't follow what you think is cool at that moment. Do it because you feel it's right. Like don't, it's like a trend, like a fad. I'm not talking about just like clothes or what people are activity wise are doing, but just more so like listen to your gut, man. Listen to what that voice in your brain is saying. I always said that your conscience is like a little guardian angel. It's like, yo, if you hear it, it's because something's going on. So just go with your gut.
Ours.
I feel attacked. not by you, but like the word.
If your brain, if inside you hear that voice and it's like, yo, nah, this is crazy. It probably is crazy.
That's a fact, because something that I've learned as well, attending church is the whole if you gotta ask somebody if it's bad, it's most likely bad. So, or if you have to ask for advice, then there's a probability that it's either not right, it's not going to go well, etc., and things like that. So tell us, you're right now, you've been home, you're about to be home for, I would say, a year coming up, right? What happened?
Yeah, a little more than that. Again, with the work release stuff.
Yeah.
I've been home since March officially, like, no type of incarceration.
All right, so what was the first meal that you had? Like that you were like, this is what I have to have?
Everybody asks that, man. Everybody asks that. If I can remember fully, it was definitely like a big fillet of salmon. I had like garlic mash and like corn and broccoli, like nothing extravagant. It was just like something home cooked finally.
Yeah. That's great. That's great, because like I know when I like I've been gone for some time, like away like, or I haven't eaten my mom's food, like that's like the first thing that I want to eat. I'm like, I just like
food is very comforting. That's why a lot of people in prison and jail learn how to cook, because it's like, they take a lot of pride in doing it themselves or learning how to do it, that even if it tastes like shit, it's very comforting to them. They feel like they're home. It takes them out that space. It's like coloring or drawing or painting or writing. It puts you in another world for whatever duration it takes, and you're not in prison or jail no more. So I definitely learned how to cook in prison. But it's comforting. I have a friend that lives in Miami that moved down there maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I tell him, like, what are the pros and cons from living here in New York to now the Miami life? He goes, there's not really any cons aside from the pizza down here sucks.
Facts.
It's like, damn. He's like, yo, every time I come up here to see my mom or whatever, the first and only thing I eat is pizza, because I don't have that where I'm at right now. So food is definitely comforting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would never compare the pizza from Miami to the pizza in New York, even if it's New York style. Like DK, like it's New York style.
No,
like
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
it doesn't even look the same.
It doesn't even look the same. Like I've had like the hella cheap pizza, the really good pizza, like all of the pizza in New York. Like I love it. It's so great. I actually spent my 30th birthday there, and I had the time of my life that whole weekend. So I love it. Okay. Do you have any more questions? Can you actually tell me the time? Are we good on time?
Yeah, we're good on time. We like another 20.
Okay.
So I have a question. I'm wondering, in your life, and maybe this is another book. I need my 5%. But but do you feel like in New York, Rikers Island, like you said it when we started this, you say, hey, if you're in New York or not, this place.
For sure.
Do you feel that kind of is a shadow? It's kind of like a character, the shadow of the city, kind of, maybe you knew your friend's friend, cousin went there, like it's kind of it's almost like a lingering shadow or a dark cloud on New York City, or like that character.
It is. And even the placement demographically is secluded. It's literally an island. You have to cross the bridge across. That's why it's titled that. There's one way in and there's one way out. There's a lot of symbolism behind the title.
Yeah.
So, and then across the bridge is like, what's on the other side? People that are on that bus coming from central bookings, like from, what we call like, the precinct, and then they got to go to Rikers.
Right.
They're on that bus knowing the unknown. They don't know what's next. They know that they're going to Rikers Island, but they don't know what their fate is. The same thing with the officer. Yesterday, he might have had a good day. She might have had a good day. But then going into work today, I got to cross this bridge and hope that I also have a good day today. So it's the seclusion of it. Like, it's like hidden. It's in between two boroughs, the Bronx and Queens. And it's like next to a power plant. It's like basically like a dump, you can say, sadly. A dump of the worst, quote unquote, criminals, the lowest of the low of the city go here. And that's where we're going to keep them, because if we keep them in the public view, then we're not going to have this beautiful city. So definitely.
Even the symbolism is like we're at Rikers, and then across the way, you're Manhattan, right? Well, not literally across the way, but that is Manhattan. There's Hamptons. There's these $1 million
beautiful skyscrapers. You see the LaGuardia Airport is across the river.
Mm-hmm.
People are about to go on a 747 and go to South Beach and have the time of their life. And then in the backyard here, you have people suffering and deteriorating mentally, emotionally, and physically.
Wow.
I think I almost forgot this, but I wanted to also ask, like, I forgot it.
Have mentioned that you had a Steve. What is it?
Stone Cold Steve Austin Cup.
Yeah, you guys saw that?
Yeah, we saw that.
Talk to us, man.
Cup, no lie, this cup is like, I want to say maybe 15 to 20 years old.
It has to be.
Man,
They
awesome.
don't make those no more.
Oh, this fool dropping the elbow on these hoes too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's crazy. I remember. Thank you so much for that, Claudia. What would you say, like a little bit picking back off Claudia's question of the 17-year-old, and we don't got to get down to the specifics if you're not comfortable with, but what would you say to someone who's feeling that their life has almost gone upside down, right? I was doing the count, now I'm on the count, right? And it doesn't have to be that, right? I was the man in high school, and now I'm not the man in high school, right? Or I was supposed to go to the league, my knee blew out, right? We could broaden it, right? What would you say to that person, rather than, hey, keep your head up, it's gonna be better days, rather than just that, because you are in that perspective, what would you say to that person?
That's a good question, huh?
Yeah.
Or maybe what would you say to you?
No, definitely it's a general statement I'm about to say, and it doesn't have to be on like a lucrative financial aspect, but don't sell your soul for $1. Don't sell it. If the risk is not worth like your freedom, and that lifestyle is not worth your freedom. That's why when you ask me, what is something that I'm grateful for, is definitely my freedom, because I've had a lot of money in my time when I was doing the wrong thing for the right reason. I've had a lot of money, and right now I don't have that much money, but I'm happier. I'm in a better place. So,
and my dog, an author.
Yeah, like back then, it's like I was willing to, if the devil came to me and said, "Hey, listen, here's $5 million, do what you got to do," no questions asked. But it's like now, if that offer was to come to the table, I'd be like, no. Well, what am I going to do with the $5 million aside from probably negative things? And of course, we all want to get there and do positive things. Build a family, buy a house, make build a business, leave a legacy. But at that age, at that 17-year-old age, don't sell your soul for $1, because you're probably going to lose your life.
Okay. So the value of, so your perspective of money has changed.
Oh, plummeted.
Yeah, it sounds like, yeah, it definitely
Right.
sounds like it's changed.
And if I showed you pictures, let's say if I were to log into my social media from 2013 or 2014 compared to my social media now, you'd be like, that's two totally different people.
So, all right.
There's a lot of acronyms, you know?
I say that to say to the kid or even to the grown man, the grown ass man. Yes, I'm talking to you. Put your dick back in your pants. Do you really need it, right? Or right, the whole sell yourself, because a lot of people willing to sell themselves for a quick 100 million views. You know, they'll do some goofball shit. You know, or do so. Sell themselves for that. What would you? What would be like your advice to? Hey, maybe not value money as much. Or hey, maybe those 10 Balenciagas, you think you need them, but
do it for yourself. Don't do it for someone else. Don't do it for what's that line Kanye said? I spent $400 on this just to be like, you ain't up on this. That's what you're doing it for.
Yep.
Like literally for someone else to say, damn, he got it.
Yeah.
And if it's just for that, then the value sucks, man.
If
you did it because you're rewarding yourself, and it's like, you know what? I like these Jordans that came out. I want this jacket that, for the winter, even though it's a little expensive. If you're treating yourself, that's a positive way. But I'm not doing it so Javi could be like, yo, you saw Steve? He's fly.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for that no more.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I was asking questions on Instagram. I don't know if you saw them, Steven. So one of the questions that I asked was, how did you know that you fell in love? So men and women. So I wanted to ask you that question before I shared some of the responses that some of the people said. So I know you're in a relationship, right? Yes. So
I'm at the bomb, not the gunshot. My bad.
How did you know? Like, how did you know? Like that you loved her, that she was the one, etc.
I'm big on time, obviously. So when you start dedicating your free and personal time to be with someone, that's how you know, I feel, personally. Because you don't get that back. You can buy them a gift, you can take them out, you can buy them clothes. But spending time with somebody, that's the most expensive thing you can do. So if you're willing to sacrifice that, then that person's doing something right. And that shows a lot of emotion on your end. Because if you're willing to see that person, no matter how tired you are, how not willing you want to drive 50 minutes to go see that person, or, you just want that own personal time, and you're going to sacrifice your own personal time knowing that you don't get it too frequently for someone else. I think that's what love is.
Dang, that's deep. You actually struck a chord there. Do you know what your love language is? It sounds like it's quality time.
Sure. Quality time, and just doing the simplest things. And I take that, before I used to take it for granted. Obviously, I don't now, because I was taken away from a chunk of my life that I feel like I gotta make up for it.
Yeah.
So doing the littlest things mean more, like, as corny and as cliche as it sounds, just like walking in the park, like getting some fresh air, like being able to go to a fast food restaurant and order what you want, like things like of that nature.
Yeah. I love that.
If you're doing it with somebody and you're having fun and you're joking around and you're cutting each other's ass, and that's the best part.
That is awesome. So I'm just going to share some of the responses real quick. Someone said peace, and I was ready to learn him instead of change him. And that's very important, because a lot of the times,
shout out to that queen.
Yeah, people get into relationships and they want to change the other person. And it's like, no, if you love the person, you should just want to learn how it is that they function, what is their love language, just different things. You want to get to know the person. Another response was when all my insecurities came to light. And someone else said, when I realized he was down for me always and I was forever preying on his life. Preying on someone's life is something that I think is very big, because you yes, you pray for people, but you usually pray for the people that are extremely close to you, that you care about, and that you want God to actually bless their lives. So that's something that I think is very big as well.
It is.
Yeah, something that because I ended up speaking to the person who said that for an extensive amount of time, and we exchanged a lot of information back and forth. And something that she said was like how important God is in a relationship and having your own relationship with God and praying together and things like that. Would you agree with that?
What if you have different beliefs?
Something that I believe is I truly believe that as long as you have a relationship with God yourself, like whatever that relationship is, like I would never sway or want anybody to just have your own relationship, like whatever you believe in, if you believe in it.
What is your religion? What do you follow?
For me, I grew up Catholic, and then right now I go to a non-dominant like church. So it's just like, we just listen to the word. It's very different as opposed to a Catholic church. But yeah, so what
Okay.
about you?
I'm an omnist. I don't know if you have to Google what that is, but basically, I take a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I lean towards Christianity, and I also lean towards Islam in a way.
Okay.
I've read so much that I've like gained so much knowledge, and I feel like they all have kind of the same
Yeah.
goal. It's
Yeah.
give, love, receive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, teach, and just cipher. Like
Yeah.
doing that over and over and over till you realize what you're here for, what the meaning.
Yeah, I agree with that because I believe that at the end of the day, it's for you. Like it's your relationship with your creator or whoever it is that you choose to, believe, or whoever it is that you're God. Like some people say God and it's a different word for another person. And as long as you have that and you know that, I believe that that's extremely important. For some people, it's not like that. For some people, it has to be the same religion. It has to be that, we're going to Sunday.
That can clash too with relationships.
Oh, definitely. I agree. Exactly. Because everybody was raised differently.
Right.
Everyone was raised differently and things like that. So, for those of you that are listening, that's up to you. Y'all gonna do what y'all want to do when it comes to y'all relationship. Okay. So someone else said, when my well-being was just as important as her well-being, if not more sometimes. And I thought that was cute because it's the little things, like
He sent his girl that.
yeah, like I want to know, like I want to know that you're good, like, and I think I care more about if you're good more than if I'm good. And someone else said, you just don't know. It's a feeling that's so deep. And someone else says, when she fucks up and all you can do is kiss her, like, can you still love me when I have a bad attitude? Like, that's great.
That's the ultimate test right there.
I believe, listen, I agree, because everybody has their own way of dealing with things, and everybody has their own reactions to any action. So if you're willing to be able to love the person no matter how it is that they may react, as long as I feel like it's not too toxic, because sometimes things get a little toxic and you shouldn't have to put up with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I believe there's a limit to everything, especially toxicness. So yeah, definitely. I wanted to share something else. I'm really big on writing. I journal a lot.
That's very therapeutic.
Oh my God. Like, I love it. So do you journal as well?
I've tried, but it's so sporadic. Like I'll do it for like 3 weeks straight and then stop for a month,
Yeah.
But obviously I put my energy into something else, which was this book. So that kind of,
no, definitely.
Some stories.
4 years, so
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like it can almost even be a compilation of some of your thoughts or what, because there's some people who use journals as literally what you just said, like being able to put down what happened and process it, and everybody journals very differently.
That's exactly what I did. Even when certain events that I put that transpired in real life that I put in the book, I had to go back and recollect that feeling. Like, what was my emotion at that time? What did I feel? What did I react to? What did I not react to? So
That's great. That's awesome. I love journaling, like I said, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because for me it's super important. I love being able to write down my thoughts and my feelings, and that's just something that towards the end of 2020 and the beginning, I know it's only like the second or third week of 2021, but I've been writing in my journal every day.
Okay, sick.
Thank you. So I've been writing in my journal every day. It's something that I do in the morning. It's my me time. Because sometimes we wake up and we went to sleep with a lot of thoughts the night before. And I feel like now, since I've done it consistently, and I've been writing in my journal, at least spending these 10 minutes with myself since I would say maybe October, November. So I've been able to really process a lot of what has been going on. And I just noticed that my day has just gotten a lot more better. I feel like my mind is a lot more clear in the morning, and I'm able to just process things very differently. And then that's another reason why people tell me to write a book, because I own a lot of journals. I probably have 10.
You're mentally releasing that tension.
Oh my God, yes. I feel amazing. For me, it's as soon as it's on paper, it is what it is. I said what I said. I processed it. It's on paper. I'm done with it. If I decide later on to write again, which does happen, because you end up you write down what you were going through in the morning, what you wanted to write in the morning, and then later on in the day something else happens, you react differently. What you prayed for actually happened. And so you end up wanting to write about it and be like, wow, look, this is how God spoke to me today, or etc. So yeah, I'm just very passionate about that. And okay, so I know we're getting down to the end of the episode, but I definitely want to ask you, what is the biggest thing that you want the reader to take away from this book?
The lesson behind it. We spoke about it briefly 5 minutes ago. Don't sell your soul for $1. If you're gonna do something remotely wrong, think about it. Think about the repercussion. Think about what you're throwing away. Is that risk worth the reward? Just think twice. Try to think 3 times if you have to. Sit down with yourself mentally and just, I guess, put into perspective what it is that you want to initiate. And if it's something negative, is it worth what it's going to cost later on?
That's great. Go ahead, Hav.
My bad. I want to add a little bit to that. Well, at least from the message that I've been hearing Steven talk about today is that part, but also, because I think that males, sometimes we suffer from this, we don't talk about it enough, is that whole impressing other men, right? Or that whole impress, right? I'm gonna put this on. You ain't got these on, right? So right. When it comes down to it, right, homie or whatever like that, yo, I got this lick, blah, 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 I got this play. Real quick, bro, make 500, whatever, 500 bands, whatever it is. We get that little hold on, I want to see if I want to make sure I'm still down, you know what I mean? Or I don't want to be that guy or whatever like that. But because we don't listen to the gut, like what you were saying, if that's what you want, I don't think that's what you really want to do, risk your freedom. But if that's, in you, not influenced by someone, because some of us, I'm a Libra, I'm a little bit easily influenced. So I know that, and I know that people are out there too, and it's a game that we get caught up on too.
Yes. The second thing I would say, not to cut you off.
Go ahead. I was good. I was done.
Work on your impulsions. Work on stop being so impulsive with whether it's anger, whether it's reaction physically, whether it's all right, I'm just gonna get over it. Give yourself a few seconds. It doesn't have to be long. Just give yourself a few seconds, because you could be you could be avoiding something very, very bad and traumatic by just thinking you know what? Nah, this is.
I'm really happy that you said that word, impulse, the impulse or the impulsiveness of life, because a lot of the times you feel like you don't have the time. So then you just act on impulse.
Especially when you're younger.
And something that I remember from last week's episode, we discussed the whole thing about, toxic communication.
Right.
We talked about toxic communication and how sometimes that happens because of impulse. So I just feel like it just like brought it all together, that point, because that word impulse, whew, that was a good word, Steven.
To piggyback on the impulsiveness,
Yeah.
I also want to add patience, and I'm gonna quote another favorite character, I guess, in movies that I like, and supposedly I resemble French Montana. Said, Frenchie when I was incarcerated.
So coke boyed out.
French Montana in a verse said, "I've seen dreams turn 25 to life." And that speaks volumes, because a lot of people.
Oh, what happened? You can't see me, huh?
No,
No, you're fine.
Go
you
ahead.
can keep talking. You can keep talking. You're good.
a lot of people, they'll take that risk. They'll be impulsive and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it and get it over with because I want the acceptance of others, or, I want to make this quick money, whatever it is. I want to impress this chick, and it costs you. It costs you more than the money you were probably going to make. It costs you that girl's probably not going to pay attention to you. It costs you that your boys will probably still be your friends if you denied whatever it is that they wanted you to do. So again, Draft C, where he said, "I've seen dreams turn 25 to life." It's a jail and prison reference, but I've been incarcerated with men that one simple mistake situation transpired and it cost them their freedom. They'll
like,
never see the light of day off that one thing.
This just reminded me of something. So basically, we all have different resources in life. One of them is time, like how you were saying earlier. Like, time is very precious, it's very important. It's something that we cannot give back. We cannot get it back. It's not something that we can buy. It's something that is given to us. It's something that is given to us by the higher power, basically. And so just like how we are literally living by the second, because life can be gone literally in a second.
Quick.
So that
Chills.
like that on its own, and you saying what you just said about like 25 life, and it's just like in less than a second your life can completely change. In less than a second you can even no longer be on this earth, so wow. Okay, so I did want to ask, because I've seen you posting nothing bad, I just been seeing you posting the charts, and because you've been checking the charts, huh, trying to see where the book's at. You're in the top. Are you under? Okay, the last time I checked, you were under the 50, so you were like at 40 something.
42 or 43, roughly.
Something like that.
In those two there. That's on Apple.
Yeah. Do you know where you're at now? Have you been checking, or?
I haven't checked. I told myself I wasn't going to check.
Give it a few days. I feel you.
It creates a lot of anxiety too,
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I'm really grateful that I get to see like this happen, like literally in real time. I get to see like when the book dropped, and seeing, you promoting it, and seeing all the love that everybody has been showing you. And I love it. I see this, I just see great things for you. You know what I mean? Like, I see that, yeah, you're an author right now, and then I do see you with the whole screenplay. What else do you see for yourself? Like you said, the screenplay, you have you're already an author, charting, top 50.
For sure. I'm trying to like evolve this into a series. Like, that's kind of the goal.
Okay.
I would love to see this on screen, and I sound biased because I wrote it, but this was something that I would be intrigued to watch. So I know that, the topics being said within this novel to be put on screen are topics that everyone from, many walks of life enjoy, whether it's sadly, violence, drugs, corruption, sex, money, all those things combined into one. Into one. And then having the criminal justice reform, or speaking upon mental health, or it's so many subjects. Like, you can open up the newspaper, the New York Times, and I can bet $100,000 that I'll find something on Rikers Island. in that paper
In
every
that paper.
single day. So each one of those articles that's being written is an episode on its own.
Damn.
So I feel like there's a lot of longevity in this being a series. So that's kind of the goal right now. I've been talking to some really important people and
Okay.
just kind of pitching it.
Watch out now.
Just seeing where this is going. But that's definitely like my main goal. I would love. I have the screenplay already for season and that I've written. I have my own production company that I just started. So I wanna bring this to fruition for sure.
This is awesome because the next question that I was going to ask you was, do you have somebody in mind that you would like to work with, like specifically? But I'm seeing you're doing it on your own, so I love independent shit. So
Or
I
down
would
the line.
definitely be better with a budget. Of course, if somebody said, "Hey, I'll give you 20 million," and you get it
definitely.
done, of course. But definitely, probably like obviously I'm from Queens, New York, so definitely someone that's in this realm currently and is killing. 50 Cent would be a great person to work with.
Definitely.
50.
And I mean, he's done such a great job with the shows that he has already put out. So imagine,
Yeah.
50, if you're listening, give him a dog. Give him the money he needs.
I live 10 minutes away from where you grew up, man. So.
Listen, 10 minutes away. My dog says that he got the screenplay, the seasons, like power what?
Empower this.
Yeah. like across the bridge, like real quick. Okay, so I'm really excited to continue to read the book. I'm definitely gonna finish reading it. And I'm definitely gonna be letting you know as soon as I finish it because I have to. That's something that I have enjoyed is that I have a friendship now or like a connection with the author of the book, and I just feel like it's just awesome. Jav, did you have a question?
Yeah, I got two more. Well, one was, how much of is it a trip, right? Like I put out like putting out music, you put out the book. How much is it of a trip to now like get the feedback? But this is like a book a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like I talk about my life and my shit too, but like to hear someone else hear it, listen to it, even if it wasn't not not the closest homie, but kind of someone random. Well, how is that trip?
It's very it's like good energy, It's like it's been positive for now. I might have a negative critic, and that's okay. That's something I have to accept.
Shit, they hated Jesus.
For sure. But definitely, like the feedback is definitely it's very positive. I feel good about it. I feel like I'm doing something. I'm entertaining somebody if they had a bad day, or I'm giving them something to do on their way to the job that they're not really happy at. Like they're on the train or vice versa. So like all that stuff it feels good. I feel like a good like humanitarian behind it.
All right.
Awesome. My next thing is
go
that
ahead,
now I don't need a starring role, big dog. I don't need to be the big name on the poster or anything like that. I could play a little inmate, an officer, son. Just get me in there. But at least a couple seconds where I could tell shorties that, hey, yo, that was me.
Let me get your agent's number. And we'll get
Bet. Hit up Claudia Renee, the Ambition Hour podcast. She'll get you right with my numbers.
Wait, I'm gonna need one too. Can I play like a newscaster or something?
Of course. That's one thing about me. I like everybody to eat. I'm not a person. So if everybody could get a slice of this would be great.
Let me be a newscaster real quick. So something that you're giving people, and this is one of the greatest gifts that you can give anybody. You're giving the people who are reading this book perspective.
Insight, for sure.
Yeah, like perspective, insight. This is a book that's going to show people like, wow, not that I thought I had it bad, but there's people who have it worse. It definitely is going to teach people that, but it's also just this perspective on their life, on the time that they do have, on hey, there's inmates that are actually caring about their mental health or that are going through something. Maybe I should possibly see if I should take care of my mental health as well. So perspective is it's beautiful that's what you're giving. I can't wait for the book to climb even more in the charts. I'm gonna be looking for that. And something that I also like to have the guests do that come on the podcast is to ask me a question. So do you have a question for me, Steven?
Where do you see this platform that you have going in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years. Okay, this is actually a question that I get a lot. And I love it.
Maybe I gotta ask another question.
No, I mean, I'll ask it, and if you want to ask another question, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Because I do definitely believe that you deserve to hear this, because I just got to hear some of your plans, and something that I do see is us definitely branching out into having other shows, not just me being the one, but like other people as well. I do see myself having like a live audience within the next 5 years, like a bit, like of course when things are a little bit more that we can actually do something like that, I would definitely love to do that.
That'll be big.
I see myself like on a stage with a huge ass crowd, just like, entertaining them and having fun with them, and basically doing this with the crowd. A late night show. We have a record label, which is Worth the Wait Records. I'm not sure if you knew about that, but that's also something that's very important to me and to my brand. So that's something that's definitely going to be growing. Right now we have, 7 artists have?
Yep.
We have 7 artists, and I know that's going to continue to grow. So just giving opportunities to people who are not able to do it. Having people that like behind the scenes, like right now we have Hav, who does my audio visual, but we would like to eventually branch out to having somebody who is that's their job. Like just like how you said, like you want everybody to eat. That's the same thing that I want. In the next 5 years, I see the vision that I saw when I was 12 years old of what I'm like doing right now. Like I see that vision actually coming true, in the next 5 years. I see it just.
You can make a lane too. I'm just adding. You can
of
make
course.
a lane to people that are trying to get where you currently are right now.
Yeah.
And kind of, giving them the ropes and them
Definitely.
learning from you.
Yep.
So it can be like an internship type of thing.
Right.
That's definitely what I've been thinking about doing, because I do believe that there's so much that you can learn from here. Like the person that I am today, compared to the person I was when we first started, is not the same person. I learned so many different things from the podcast about myself, about patience, about consistency, perspective, authenticity, just so many things. What were we gonna say, Hav?
What's that? What's Shook say? But we're gonna say, come to work the way you learn something.
So that's definitely where I see it in 5 years. In 5 years, it's just like, bro, the only way is up. Like I was born to do this, so you're gonna be seeing me everywhere. Yeah. Did you want to ask another question?
He's straight now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's because at the end of the day, like man, like the 5 years that I just see for myself is so beautiful, and I'm honestly like I'm very blessed that Jax put you in my path and put this together.
Definitely shout out to Jax. Since it's the first conversation me and him had, there was like this connection. There was a connection because he was young. There was a connection because he's a minority, just like I am.
Mm-hmm.
There's a connection because he was very understanding, very liberal, very open to, I guess, listening to what I had to say and what I wanted to execute, and he was all for it. There was never like, nah, we can't do that because of this. It's like, all right, I'll try to figure it out. He bent the rules a little bit. He gave me an opportunity, and that opportunity is hopefully a very lucrative one. And we continue building. He's giving a lot of other people opportunities, so I respect him for that.
Definitely. So I'm just very blessed because now I get to see your growth. I get to witness it. I get to be a part of it. This is the first time that you come on, but who's to say that you're not going to come on when you out here working with 50?
Or another 3, yeah. Or we got that series popping off, right?
Yeah, when the series is popping off and you have to promote it, like you're going to have to come on my show.
Yeah, another book came out. You got to come back.
So that's definitely something that like I love and I enjoy because this connection is a lifetime, like whatever it is that you need, we're always here for you. You have both of our numbers. So
likewise.
Oh yeah, always feel free for that. Since you brought up Jax, like how you're in New York, he's in Miami. How did you guys how did that happen?
I first spoke to Jax, I want to say April of 2019.
Okay.
And that's when he first reached out to me and said, hey, listen, he had heard a podcast that I was on.
Okay.
He saw that I had this book. I just had no one, to speak to right away to try to publish it. And obviously we spoke, he gave me the opportunity. And we didn't meet literally till last month when I went to Miami.
Oh, wow.
we had dinner, we had laughs, and that same connection from almost 2 years ago is still high and above. I speak to him. He's a very open door policy type of guy. So that's kind of why this worked out so organically.
Awesome. Shout out to Jax again. I'm so thank you for giving me another author. I love it. I love it.
And always listening.
And always listen. Yeah, and he listens too. So shout out to Jax. I appreciate you.
I call him the Suge Knight of publishing.
Listen. And
over.
He's tall.
Whether you like it or not, he's taking over.
Yeah, because he's also a tall man. Like, and he's like a no. Listen, when we get him on the podcast, y'all gonna see.
We're gonna have to get a bigger couch.
I actually think that he's gonna be here because Steven, we're going to be celebrating our 3-year anniversary very soon. So thank you.
That shows longevity.
Thank you. So it's crazy. Like I said, it was an honor to have you here. Let everybody know where it is that they can find you, where they can find the book, etc.
My social media only, sadly, is Instagram. I used to be a big Twitter head.
Twitter's the best.
Yeah, it is. It is and it isn't. But right now my Instagram is @chill Stevie Guns, ChillStevieGunz. The link to purchase a book is in my bio. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, the paperback, the digital copy is on Apple, it's on Kindle, Nook, all that stuff. So
I ain't even gonna lie, I have the digital copy, but I'm gonna be buying the print.
The print, yeah. We gonna need that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, no, I'm because
so you want to know why? Because
ain't nothing like
I
paper.
feel like you're on your phone and your brain is telling you, hey, did you check TikTok today?
Right.
So it kind of deviates from what you're doing.
Yeah, that's something that I love and hate about having it digital, like having a book digitally, because I can definitely I love reading, so reading it digitally isn't like that big of a thing, but it is something like how you're saying that there's times where I'm reading a book on my phone and I'm just like, did somebody text me? Is there something that I should be checking? Because we're so programmed to use our phones for social media or texting. We're not programmed to use it for something good. Right. So it is what it is. But again, thank you so much for coming, Steven. Again, our first Zoom guest. First time
with 50, hopefully.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, definitely. He's welcome.
You can bring 52. No, I mean,
we gotta talk to him because we want him to do a versus anyways. So we'll just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. How did you have anything else to say before we say goodbye?
No, man. Just thank you. I appreciate you and just letting you shed your light on the rest of us. So you said the word humanitarian, and I think that's what you are. And coming for contribution, giving this game essentially back out, man. Just thank you. I'm gonna read this book. So man, just thank you, man. And whenever we in New York, man, we'll tap in.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll get a slice of pizza or something.
Sure. Yes. All right, guys. Well, remember, we are still in a pandemic, so make sure that you wash your hands, wash your ass, drink your water, and mind your business. And for the 150th time in a motherfucking row, it's your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves with my co-host, House 600, and our wonderful guest, Steven Dominguez. Make sure you guys go check out the book, Across the Bridge. Play no games. It's on the top 50 at Apple. Like, come on, what you really doing if you ain't reading it?
And for those who don't like reading, this is a book that you'll enjoy.
Yes, you will. And for the 155th time in a motherfucking row, it's your girl Claudia Renee, and we are out of here.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
It's the Ambition Hour.
You guys have my number. You can reach out.
The Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour, baby.